In there now for Rodriguez. Big first time when he had so much time playing there on the face of the Southampton skipper Peter Rodriguez. Why on earth did he take such a quick point goal?
He didn't have a lot of time actually, Brian. If you look closely here, the ball could have, if he stops, he's going to be closed in very, very quickly. It was the one that he had a hit in his well.
Carry on with the long ball. There goes Shotton. Osgood tearing into his space as well. And Osgood's got the touch. And Strictly has to make the save.
That was on the shoulder.
And another brilliant run there.
You watch how Shotton out of the side. Great position.
The 6-yard line.
Great position, very quickly.
Incredibly special memories there from an absolutely historic day for Southampton Football Club, and of course the reason we're all here today to come together to celebrate 50 years since we lifted the FA Cup trophy. And I've got to say, looking wonderful in yellow alongside me is Glenn Cockrell. Glenn, always lovely to see you. How nice is it out there to be rejoining all of the lads that you have had so many fond memories with over the years?
Joining the lads is great. Looking at the pitch, I never played anything like that, certainly at the Dell. Yeah, it's great to get together. It's a bit like the X8 when we all get together. But yeah, great set of lads and that's what we're about.
And of course,
A very good afternoon from St Mary's Stadium for what is going to be a fantastic time under the sun. It's Southampton legends against Manchester United legends on this lovely spring afternoon on the south coast. The 50th anniversary of that Southampton team winning the 1976 FA Cup against today's opponents, Manchester United. There is a large crowd here at St Mary's, plenty of Man United fans who have made the trip as well. They're all down below me. I'm sat high in the Kingsland stand. I did say it was sunny. The pitch is currently beaming at the moment, but there is just to my left some dark cloud coming over, but I'm sure that's not going to dampen the spirits of what is going to be a terrific afternoon. The players not quite coming out of the tunnel just yet, but I can bring you some team sheets. There's going to be some stars on display, that is for sure. So we've got Tommy Forecast in goal for Southampton, Franny Benali, Michael Svensson, Jos Højveld and Fraser Richardson across the back. Drew Sermon, Victor Wanyama, Joe Tessam and Pele in the middle. Lee Barnard up top with number 7, Ricky Lambert. For Manchester United, it's Raymond van der Gaal in goal, Phil Bardsley, Ronnie Johnson, Wes Brown and Danny Simpson across the back. Antonio Valencia, Darren Gibson and Eric Jemba in the middle. And then 2 number 9s up top, Dimitar Berbatov and Luis Saha. They're both wearing number 9 and they've got Danny Webber as well, as the players are now just lining up in the tunnel. Of course, on the bench for Southampton, and I'm sure we'll see them at some point this afternoon, Mark Blake, Matt Latizier, Glenn Cockrell, Ken Monkow, David Hughes, Mark Forbes and Sam McQueen. Manchester United's Bojan Djordjic, Danny Pugh, Fraser Campbell and Kevin Pilkington. As Saints and Manchester United enter the fray. This is live coverage on YouTube and Southampton's website, and at My Name is Tom Murray. Southampton, of course, donning the famous, slightly faded yellow shirts, yellow socks and blue shorts that they wore on that day back in 1976 at Wembley before they lifted silverware. Manchester United in their typical red with white shorts and white socks. We are going to have a few interviews during the match with Paul Belveston, Kenzie Benali, speaking to players pitch side, maybe on the pitch itself, so we'll definitely dip into that throughout the game. Hopefully there's going to be plenty of goals. If you were here for the Southampton Legends versus Russell Martin Legends about a year or so ago, that ended 4-4, so hopefully we'll have the same this afternoon in terms of goals scored. There were some crackers, there was some things that you don't see very often, which was a Ricky Lambert missed penalty. He hasn't actually scored in any of the charity games since leaving Southampton, so he'll be hoping it's third time lucky for him, and if he can find the back of the net. And this is all in partnership with the Saints Foundation and Manchester United Foundation and all the terrific work that they do. There's plenty of fans, a few flags whipping around below me. I can see, I think it's an Ecuadorian flag for Antonio Valencia. This big Jos Højveld is just announced on the screen alongside Michael Svensson. That is quite a defence that Manchester United will be coming up against this afternoon, although they're going to have their work cut out for them dealing with Dimitar Berbatov and Luis Saha, that's for sure. As Joe Tessam also appears on the big screen as well. He's managed to take time away from being the foil to Adam Blackmore and the Saints commentaries for BBC Radio Solent. He'll want to put in a decent performance today, otherwise he'll certainly get some banter from Adam Blackmore when they reunite, of course, in about a week's time and a few more hours. The Saints kick off their own quarter-final in the FA Cup against Arsenal at St Mary's. What a night that is going to be under the lights. A chance to hopefully get themselves to Wembley in an FA Cup semi-final and knock the Premier League table toppers off their perch, as we are moments away from kick-off. Michael Svensson, the captain, alongside Ronnie Johnson in the middle, as those clouds and some rain in the distance just start to make their way over Southampton. But at the moment, the pitch is still absolutely bathed in spring sunlight. So just a quick run through those teams for you again as we're just about to get underway. So Tommy Forecast in goal, Franny Benali, Michael Svensson, Jos Højveldt and Fraser Richardson across the back. Andrew Sermon, Victor Wanyama, Joe Tessam and Pele in the middle for Saints. Up top, Lee Barnard and Ricky Lambert. Manchester United, it is Raymond van der Gaal, Phil Bardsley, Ronnie Johnson, Wes Brown and Danny Simpson, Antonio Valencia, Darren Gibson and Eric Jemba. So good they named him twice in the middle. And Dimitar Berbatov and Louis Saha both donning the number 9 shirt with Danny Webber up top. And it is going to be the Bulgarian Dimitar Berbatov who's going to get us underway on an afternoon that marks the 50th anniversary of Southampton winning the FA Cup. And 50 years on, the first team doing a good job of hopefully, maybe, just maybe, winning it again. They've got a lot of work to do. Of course, they've got Arsenal to face, but it's been a terrific run for the first team. But it's not about them this afternoon. It's about those legends on the pitch. And we are underway. Not quite at the breakneck pace that we maybe thought. Is a loose pass by Darren Gibson. Victor Wanyama. Andrew Sermon. And nice little touch there by Lee Barnard. He's brought down first free kick, only taking 20 seconds. Lee Barnard already going on a marauding run. Not something we really saw a great deal of in League One. He was more of that poacher's finish. He's certainly up for this. First touch for Joe Tessam is a good one. And Fraser Richardson into Michael Svensson. Killer, of course. Jos Højveldt, who I believe is contractually not allowed to actually score today. He's only allowed to score on a Tuesday. Brown. Darren Gibson, who finished his playing career at Salford City. Had spells at Sunderland and Everton as Wes Brown just nice pass out towards that right hand side. Only the 5 Premier Leagues, 2 Champions Leagues and 2 FA Cups to Wes Brown's name. Tessam. Nice turn by Pele. Ricky Lambert just making his way towards the edge of the area. Pele. Tessam, cries of shoot. If he was Shea Charles, he may have gone for it. Victor Wanyama trying to barge his way through. Not that time. Oh, Raymond van der Gaal almost. He played a bit of a hospital pass. Lee Barnard was sniffing around. Louis Saha's first involvement in the game is to win his side a throw. Tessam getting involved. There's a couple of seagulls on the pitch, just enjoying the sunlight in the Southampton half of the pitch where the ball hasn't actually really been so far in this game. It's been all Saints, as curse of the commentator. Southampton lose possession. Now Valencia is the first time to maraud forward. Berbatov's there just inside. Valencia with that burst of pace. Berbatov. Oh, he's hit the post. Three minutes gone. Manchester United almost taking the lead. Dimitar Berbatov, Tommy Forecast, all at sea there. But he just wasn't able to get it on the inside of that right post. 56 goals in a Manchester United shirt for Dimitar Berbatov, but not able to find the back of the net that time. Victor Wanyama. Barnard again. And that's not going to be troubling Roman van der Gaal, currently the oldest player on the pitch at 63. Will be beaten if Glenn Cockerell does enter the fray at some point. Louis Saha. Fantastic turnout at St Mary's this afternoon. There's about 4,000 or so Manchester United fans in the Kingsland stand down below me, the Itchin. Looking very full, as well as a large portion of the Northern stand behind the goal to the left, also with quite a few vocal supporters, as Danny Simpson just about keeps that in play. I think round of applause there, not for just keeping the ball in play, but for actually managing to run that distance and not pull anything. Of course, he does have a Premier League winners' medal, but that was at Leicester. One of football's miracles, of course. Leicester in the Championship having a bit of a torrid time and looking at the trapdoor to League One. I think Darren Gibson was expecting an easier ball that time. Hoyveld into Barnard, who has looked lively so far, but he's been caught that time. And the two number 9s for Manchester United steaming ahead with Valencia. Berbatov didn't get it first time. He's not going to shoot this time. Gibson has it on this left-hand side. Dazzling feet from him. He's not able to get past Michael Svensson. Jemba. Tessem working well. Simpson. Changing passes with Webber, who came up against the wall of Kelvin Davis when he had a short spell at Leeds. Of course, Saints fans know that game as Berbatov. Saha, he's run into a brick wall. Now a chance for Southampton to break. Lambert, I think this is probably his first touch of the ball. And that's a great pick out by Lee Barnard, but Joe Tessem, at the age of 54, does not quite have the legs to keep up with that one. Keeps himself in terrific shape though, does Joe Tessem. Johnson, Gibson. The pace of the game at the moment would very much suit Matt Latizier. Hopefully we'll get about 5 or 10 minutes of him. He's on the bench at the moment. Victor Wanyama with a crunching challenge in the middle. That's what we know him for. Tessem, long ball in search for Ricky Lambert. Does he have the legs to keep that one in? He might just do. He does. Barnard steaming in the middle and he can't quite pick him out. As Man United just work their way out from the back, and Jemba. It's been a terrific day already on the South Coast, but signings with Jim McCalliog. Lots of interviews to come throughout the game. Only the one chance to really shout about so far, of course, Dimitar Berbatov hitting the post. Lee Barnard dragged his shot wide from around 20 yards out, but there's still time. Sophie Lambert just has the pocket picked, and here comes Simpson. Pick out by Brown. Here's Danny Webber. Gibson, cries of shoot. That's a nice pick out for Valencia, who nearly stops a goal kick. It's actually Danny Simpson making that run. It's because they're both wearing number 25. As Gibson and Webber both wearing 28, so these kind of games are always a bit of a confusion. At least the two number 7s for Southampton are currently not on the pitch together.
Well, given this is a special match, we're delighted to be bringing you in-game interviews, and I've made my way down to the Southampton
Saints just knocking it around at the moment. Kenzie Benali is on the sideline. Let's dip into what's going on there.
First 10 would be nice. We won't see after 15 minutes. We started well.
We have, haven't we? Okay, that's good.
Southampton in that time have actually managed to get a corner after a long ball towards the back post that went wide, so we'll stick around for the set piece. First one of the game. Easy gather by Raymond van der Gouw, and here come Man United. Do they have the pace to break on Southampton with Berbatov? He's happy to go fairly pedestrian pace.
We'll keep an eye on Berbatov. Blakey, thank you so much for speaking to us. So there is Mark Blake.
An interview with Mark Blake just on the touchline, and Southampton coming close as their header went just wide of Raymond van der Gouw's right post. Plenty of more of those interviews to come throughout the match. 11 minutes gone, still 0-0. As Franny Benali gets stuck into his first challenge of the afternoon. Lovely turn away from Lee Barnard, gets a round of applause from the Manchester United support. United just having a bit more of the ball now, still deadlock yet to be broken. They might just do that now. Valencia, Berbatov's near him, Valencia pulls it back, Sahar, it's blocked, and Saints just need to get that one clear, and they do. Tessam and Sermon combining. Sermon, of course, the head coach of the under-18s, who are having a great time, and Southampton might have a chance to break themselves. Pele. Lambert finding himself in a right midfield position. That's a lovely pick out to Drew Sermon. And Barnard's there to poke it into the back of the net. 13 minutes gone at St Mary's. And Lee Barnard, 24 goals in 73 appearances for Southampton. Typical run from him towards the front post. Lovely little touch from Drew Sermon's cross. And Southampton lead. Just as Manchester United were threatening to break the deadlock themselves, a counter-attack, not necessarily at the speed you'd expect, but enough to do damage Lovely pick out by Ricky Lambert to find Drew Sermon on that left-hand side, and Lee Barnard there. Poacher's finish. That's a lovely bit of play by Antonio Valencia. Jemba trying to shimmy past Joe Tessam as well. Simpson. Berbatov doesn't find Webber, and now Ricky Lambert to Tessam. Southampton knocking it around well, and Drew Sermon doesn't have the pace just to get ahead of Ronnie Johnson. Gibson, though, picks it up in the middle. Berbatov, who's very much the catalyst. They're playing through him. Both the 28s on this left-hand side. Danny Webber, though, tries to shimmy into the box. Berbatov picks it up. Cries of shoot from Bardsley. Valencia. Michael Svensson there, as he was so many times, and Victor Wanyama. And Southampton really, I was going to say, knocking it about with panache and purpose, but Lee Barnard, confidence up, tried the little back kill, didn't come off. And cries of shoot as Tony Gibson gets within about 30 yards of the goal. Bardsley, Simpson. Jemba. Valencia once more. 339 appearances for Manchester United. Found the back of the net 25 times, including an absolute scorcher against Everton. I remember the half volley from the just inside the box on the right-hand side. Fans below me just crying shoot every time a player gets it ever so slightly within shooting range, even if that might be 35 yards out. Berbatov tries the turn, gets it through. Bardsley, he's brought down, play on. Berbatov still back down to his usual walking pace. Fantastic first touch, though, Dimitar Berbatov. He wants to float towards the back post, and Højveld there. First time he's really had to deal with an aerial ball in the penalty area, and he's 1-0 so far. Franny Benali, who really should last the majority of this game, considering all the fantastic work he does. 57, but at the end of April and May, looking to conquer the Lake District, all the summits there. 10. Yeah, 30th of April to 2nd of May, 10 Lake District summits he's looking to get the better of. Is Francis Benali, as Manchester United have their first corner of the game. Saints lead by a goal to nil. Lee Barnard, after 13 minutes, converting Andrew Sermon's cross at the front post. And that's almost... I thought for a moment that might be hitting the back of the net, but well dealt with, as it just went a little bit too high for Tommy Forecast. 39-year-old. Corner number 2 for Manchester United. 1-0 Southampton lead. Another high ball towards the back post. It's headed well over the bar. Certainly a jovial atmosphere here at St Mary's this afternoon, and why wouldn't it be? Southampton in the Championship, quite the unbeaten run. Entered the international break off a 2-0 victory against Oxford United, which of course will be remembered for one of the best goals ever scored at St Mary's. This man scored quite a few, Ricky Lambert, although he's not going to have an attempt to score that time. He's been brushed off it. Phil Bardsley in a bit of a tussle with Joe Tessam. Matt Latizier is about to be interviewed. Let's get in on that one. Manchester United just coming forward, edge of the penalty area is Gibson.
Very pleased with the scoreline. Almost 20 minutes in. You happy with what you're seeing?
Guys of shoot, and it's the first chance for Tommy Forecast to have his gloves stung. Saves that time. Let's go back to Matt Latizier.
Speaking of plan, if there ever was one, what do they need to do out there to keep Manchester United quiet?
Well, I think actually we're actually in a really good shape. The midfielders are breaking forward nicely. It's just what happens when they run out of steam, because obviously then I'm going to have to start making some changes in the second half, and that could be quite difficult. So I think there's some players out there that might want to play the whole game, but might have to get subbed off.
Well, we're looking forward to what else commences in the match. St Mary's Matt Latizier.
Saints player manager Matt Latizier there. I'm sure he's liking what he's seeing so far. His side lead by 1 goal to the good. So we've already had interviews with Mark Blake and Matt Latizier. More to come, that's for sure. Manchester United searching for an equaliser. We're approaching 20 minutes at St Mary's. So alongside Mark Blake and Matt Latizier on the bench, you've got Glenn Cockrell, Ken Munkow, David Hughes, Mark Forbes, the kit man, and Sam McQueen. Bojan Djordjic, Danny Pugh, Fraser Campbell and Kevin Pilkington for Manchester United. Eric Jemba on the ball though. Simpson. It's a nice first touch by Louis Saha, and there's anticipation, but he gets the shot all wrong. Slips as he struck it. And they're just checking on him that he hasn't hurt himself. 47, the number 9, the Frenchman. 42 goals in 124 Manchester United appearances. Also spells at Everton and Sunderland. Did score one of the quickest goals in FA Cup final history with his strike against Chelsea. Actually, Everton went on to lose that one. I think it was about 35 seconds that he managed to break the deadlock at Wembley. And he is going to need a little bit of treatment. Live on Southampton's YouTube channel and the Southampton website and app. The Southampton Legends against Manchester United Legends. A celebration of 50 years since Southampton won the FA Cup back in 1976. It's also 16 years since Southampton, to the day, since Southampton last won silverware in the Johnson's Paint Trophy final against Carlisle. Beating the Cumbrians by 4 goals to 1. Louis Saha is back on his feet. That's always good to see. And hopefully he's able to continue. We do, of course, have Fraser Campbell on the bench. A bit of pace to bring on. 38. Practically a spring chicken compared to everyone else on the pitch. Midway point of the first half, though. Southampton have a 1-goal advantage. Lee Barnard, 13 minutes played. Converting Andrew Sermon's cross in front of the Chapel stand. There is going to be a substitution made. I think Fraser Campbell is going to be coming on. Unfortunately, it looks like Louis Saha's race is run after he hit that from the edge of the penalty area.
Replacing number 9, Louis Saha. 39, Fraser Campbell.
Retired in 2022, Fraser Campbell at Huddersfield. Did appear 4 times in Manchester United shirt and had spells at Sunderland, Cardiff, Crystal Palace and Hull. Of course, scored one of Cardiff's biggest ever goals when they, the Welsh side, beat Manchester City and the Premier League back in 2013. But unfortunately, Louis Saha has tweaked something, so at least for me as a commentator, that's one less number 9 on the pitch. Dimitar Berbatov, of course, with that digit. Long ball over the top, and Tommy Forecast gathers well. Here come Manchester United. Andrew Sermon that time just losing out. He makes his way back in defence. Valencia, who's looked bright, looks sharp. Bardsley with the run. And he's almost hit it over Tommy Forecast. Here comes Webber, he can't score. It's the second time that Manchester United has struck the post. Sermon. Now Lee Barnard out to Pele. Tommy Forecast's goal leading a charmed life. Danny Webber must be wondering what he has to do to score against Southampton. Came up against Kelvin Davis in 2012. Not able to find the back of the net that time either. Lambert towards the edge of the box. Sermon was arriving. Certainly accustomed to scoring from that distance, Drew Sermon. Not able to hit the target that time though. Still 1-0 Southampton lead, 25 minutes gone. Pele screams handball. Gets the free kick. Fraser Richardson. A fairly quiet game so far. 68 appearances for Southampton. Never scored, but did get 11 assists in his time at the club. Also remembering had a lethal long throw on him as Fraser Campbell gets his first. That's a pretty early challenge, I'd say, there from Michael Svensson, but applause all around. Ricky Lambert now. Yeah, Fraser Richardson did have a long throw in his arsenal. It's good to see there's been nothing on the sidelines to maybe hinder that. Mentioning nothing against Oxford United. Tessem. Here come United and Valencia. He streets ahead. Campbell wants it. Valencia's going to go on his own. He goes down. Manchester United want a penalty. They're not going to get it. And now Southampton can break. Sermon. Boos. In the crowd below me. Sermon still going. Luckily for Southampton, there's no VAR here for a Legends game. Although it'll probably take around 20 minutes to actually decide what that was going to be. Lovely feet by Webber. Comes into a bit of a cul-de-sac. Berbatov. The ball just sticks to him like glue at times. But Victor Wanyama does well to win the throw. Still has that presence in midfield as Victor Wanyama. Remember his debut for Southampton in that 1-0 win at West Brom back in 2013, where he was a bit of an unknown quantity. West Brom known for having quite a strong midfield, and then some of those midfielders were simply bouncing off Wanyama as Joe Tessem tries to wriggle his way forward, but a free kick has been given and Manchester United fans a few ironic cheers as something goes their way. Jemba. Those two seagulls still haven't gone away. They just land on whatever part of the pitch isn't populated. Valencia, he can't get through. And now Sermon and Tessem, who has looked very sprightly as Joe Tessem. If you just tuned in, Saints 1-0 up, and that goal coming from Lee Barnard after 13 minutes as he steered Andrew Sermon's cross beyond Van der Gaal. Typical Lee Barnard poacher's finish. Did play against Manchester United, did Lee Barnard, when he was at Southampton. Of course, Saints and Man United met in the FA Cup. Richard Chaplow scoring a terrific strike to put Saints 1-0 up at half-time, but a couple of goals from Michael Owen meant that the serial winners of the FA Cup left St Mary's with a 2-1 win, but a fantastic night under the lights, and Southampton doing themselves proud in that time. And Saints lead here. Tessem. Fraser Campbell with a bit more pace than the Norwegian, but Jos Højveldt's there just to stop Valencia from getting through, and he has had quite the difference in pace. It's not quite the cheat code that Theo Walcott was when it was Southampton legends against Russell Martin legends. Despite his age and being at the very end of his career, retiring, then Theo Walcott was still about 10 yards ahead of everybody else. Fraser Richardson, though. Johnson. 56 doing a decent job of marshalling that Manchester United defence. Here's Phil Bardsley. Berbatov, for once, first touch evades him. And now Barnard and Lambert have a chance to get forward, and that poke through by Barnard might reach Andrew Sermon, and out comes Van der Gaal. Thought for a moment it was 2-on-2 and Southampton were going to race on through, but it's had a good game so far, Lee Barnard, as that pick out is in search of Ricky Lambert, and there's absolutely no chance that he gets to that ball first. Because Ricky Lambert's still waiting for a goal in one of these games since leaving Southampton. Didn't score in the Kelvin Davis testimonial. Did win the penalty shootout between himself and Matt Latizier, that's for sure. Didn't score last time out against Russell Martin's side. His last Saints goal, though, did come against Manchester United on the final day of the 13-14 season. That 1-1 draw under Maurizio Pochettino before departing to his boyhood club Liverpool. That's a lovely pick out. Simpson. They almost get the flick on that one. They're not far away at Manchester United. It just marks the rise, though. That final goal for Ricky Lambert. Rise of him and rise of Southampton. His first goal coming against League 2 Northampton Town in the League Cup. His final goal against Manchester United to leave Southampton 8th in the Premier League. More boos from the United support, not quite agreeing with some of the decisions in the middle. They were denied a penalty. No VAR. That was waved away. Where's Brown? 362 United appearances for him. And some spells at Sunderland and a short stint at Blackburn before hanging up his boots. Phil Bardsley, who's spent much of his time at Sunderland as well. Gibson. He's managed to get past a couple of challenges there. Berbatov, who certainly not quickly, but is able to cover a lot of blades of grass. Did strike the post very early on. Valencia.
Well, one of our Southampton legends today who has swapped his kitman duties for a plain shirt this afternoon.
Mark Forbes about to be interviewed on the sideline as Manchester United just try and break Southampton's defence to get themselves an equaliser. Here's Valencia. And it's a lovely flick from Joe Tessam to clear, and Southampton will now try and get it away. Andrew Sermon, Tessam's making a run, Lambert's picked out, the offside flag goes up. So let's dip in to the interview with Mark Forbes, Saints kitman.
Enjoying myself in the sunshine, and hopefully we can keep that up.
Quite right, lovely day for it, Forbesy. This is a special club, we know how much it means to you, but if you could put into words what Southampton Football Club does mean to you, what would you say?
I've got to be careful because my family are here, but it's up there with being as important as my family. It's a very special club.
Say no more. Thank you so much, Forbesy. Let's hear it for the brilliant Mark Forbes.
Saints kitman Mark Forbes there, just admitting that maybe Southampton comes quite high up on his list of priorities. Manchester United still searching for an equaliser. Cries of shoot yet again. Just under 10 minutes of normal time to go. This is Manchester United, so we may have 25 minutes of extra time. Victor Wanyama, though, gets the ball, and Andrew Sermon isn't able to get the play pass, and there will be a free kick Southampton's way. St Mary's still lit in some glorious spring afternoon sunshine, whilst it looks like the rain is sweeping everywhere but the pitch on this 50th anniversary of Southampton winning the 1976 FA Cup final. Iconic strike by Bobby Stokes. The bus that was the double-decker bus used in the parade was by the Ted Bates statue just outside the ground before kick-off. There's plenty of supporters here this afternoon. Live on YouTube as well, and the Southampton website and app. Saints lead by a goal to nil. Around 10 minutes away from half-time. Manchester United, though, just coming forward a few more times in the last few minutes. Valencia, who's been the danger man on that right-hand side, probably because he's one of the only players who can actually run quite quickly. That cross gets deflected. Hoivel. Phil Bardsley doesn't get the connection he really wanted that time. There's a little show of frustration as Drew Sermon has the ball won fairly. Darren Gibson, though, just running into a brick wall as the ball just ricochets kindly for United. Where's Brown? The most decorated players on the pitch. 5 Premier Leagues, 2 Champions Leagues, 2 FA Cups. Dutchman Ronnie Johnson on that far side. Bardsley. Because there was an early change that had to be made. Musaha coming off, and Fraser Campbell, who was the man that came on, was just lurking there. A few eyebrows raised when the team sheet came out, especially with Berbatov and Saha beginning the game up top, coming up against Svensson and Højbjerg, whether it would be a bit of a potentially a mismatch, considering the power and pedigree of those two United forwards. But so far, Manchester United have been held at arm's length. Simpson, that's above Campbell. United have struck the post a couple of times. One intentionally from Dimitar Berbatov, the other one a cross which just caught Tommy Forecast out. Nice pick out by Victor Wanyama, and here's a chance for Fraser Richardson to make his way forward. Pele, Ricky Lambert making the run. Tessem, touched by the Portuguese, and here's Southampton come again. Barnard, he's onside. He's going to cut in, and Barnard, he wants a second, leaves it to the edge of the penalty area, and Pele's strike, not really a test for Raymond van der Gaal. It's not been the goal fest that was anticipated. It's been a good battle between these two sides. The difference being Lee Barnard after 13 minutes. I'm sure in the second half those legs are going to tire. The goals are going to become maybe a little bit more outrageous. Jemba out to Danny Simpson. Campbell, quick feet from him. Berbatov, cries of shoot yet again. He's no Shea Charles. This is a nice move. Manchester United able to cap it off with a goal. So far, Southampton just standing firm. Campbell. Just not opening up for them at the moment, but they might have a chance here. Jemba. He goes for goal. That one's blocked. Berbatov. Campbell was lurking. And here comes the long range, and that one's blocked as well from Bardsley. Valencia. It's not often you see park the bus in a Legends game, but that's what Southampton are doing just at the moment. Simpson. And they're lurking at the back post. But it's good work by Francis Benali, and Tommy Forecast is just able to chill out for a little bit. Not too long to go until half-time. Sermon set up the goal for Lee Barnard, who's on the ball at the moment, and now Fraser Richardson. Combining with his teammate from the League One days. It's a shame for Lee Barnard because he got that injury right at the end of the promotion season from League One. Spent a lot of the following campaign out. Did get a few appearances against the likes of Blackpool towards the end of the championship season, but it's almost the team around him got promoted too quickly for him, and it just wasn't able to keep up. But so many integral goals from Lee Barnard in that promotion from League One. Important one as well at Leyton Orient when on the bank holiday Southampton packed out the whole side of Brisbane Road. Almost felt like a home game. That was a quote from Ricky Lambert as Saints won 2-0 to put them second in the League One table. And a fantastic battle with Huddersfield. Eventually Saints were able to get one over the Terriers with that win at Plymouth. The penultimate game for them. Here's Sermon. Not too long to go until half-time. Can Southampton get themselves a second? Barnard. Wanyama. Is he going to shoot? No, he's going to get the ball stuck under his feet and then fall over, but he gets a free kick for his troubles from Eric Jemba. And who's going to take this one, I wonder? He says, as Ricky Lambert immediately walked from one side of the penalty area to the other. In terms of distance, it's not too dissimilar to the strike against Tranmere. He scored a terrific goal in League One against Tranmere, although that was far more central. But in terms of distance out from the goal, right before half-time, Southampton's number 7. Oh, and he's almost had it spilled by Van der Gaal. Jos Højveldt was lurking, as was Lee Barnard. Ricky Lambert's wait for another goal at St Mary's goes on. Another slip as 2 minutes are going to be added on.
Players with tired legs out there, we're going to have 2 extra minutes.
2 extra minutes. Southampton searching for a second. They lead by a goal to 0. Drew Sermon, that's a lovely little lifted pass over to Fraser Richardson. Lambert, the target, is going to fall to Pele, and his first touch doesn't quite link it to Drew Sermon. There were Paul Belveston on PA saying that there was going to be some tired legs out there, so only 2 minutes. Southampton don't exactly have the legs in the tank in Matt Latizier, Mark Forbes and Glenn Cockrell on the bench to add, but Man United search for an equaliser, and that's the closest they've come since striking the post. Danny Webber forcing Tommy Forecastle into a good stop, and they're going to end the half with a corner. Sermon has just dealt with that so easily, and Southampton unable to break. Lambert slightly off radar there. Campbell, edge of the box, no first time shot from Valencia, out to Bardsley, and he gets it into the back of the net. And we're going to go into the break level. Phil Bardsley, low ball, low strike beyond Tommy Forecast. And the United end erupts. Saints 1, Manchester United 1.
Goal for United. Number 26, Phil Bardsley.
Well, they struck the post twice. They forced Tommy Forecast into a decent stop. It certainly was a goal that has seemed coming. But we are going to go into the break all square, and that sets us up nicely for a second half. And the whistle does go. Half-time in Southampton Legends against Manchester United Legends. It's been a fantastic afternoon so far. Plenty more to come on the Southampton YouTube channel, Southampton website, and we'll be back in around 10 minutes' time for the second half. Welcome back to St Mary's Stadium. Lovely afternoon on the south coast as both sides are back out on the pitch for the second half of this Southampton Legends versus Manchester United Legends game. Live on Southampton's YouTube channel, Southampton website and app. It's 1-1 here at St Mary's. Lee Barnard broke the deadlock after 13 minutes, but Phil Bardsley, right on the stroke of half-time, levelled things up. We've already had an injury, unfortunately, which was to Louis Saha. He made way for Fraser Campbell in that first half. I don't think there are any changes at the break, but of course if there are, we will let you know. But it's been a good afternoon so far of football. Good action as well. Some players looking in decent condition, others maybe not so much, but they're still throwing themselves about the pitch, which is exactly what we want to see. Joe Tessem in particular for Southampton is in pristine condition, as we do have one change at the break, which is that Sam McQueen is on the pitch. And at 31 years old, had his career cruelly curtailed due to injury. But at 31 years old, he is the youngest player on the pitch, with Raymond van der Gouw at 63, over twice his age. Waiting for kickoff, and we haven't. It's going to be an interesting second half because, of course, legs will start to tire. Might see a little dash of Glenn Cockrell and Matt Latizier in this second 45. Only for about 5 minutes maximum, I would assume. Sam McQueen gets his first touch of the ball. 29 appearances for Southampton before injury, as Saints are going for a fast start. Tessem. Lambert's making the run into the middle. The ball from Pele's not finding a yellow shirt. It's, of course, Southampton wearing that shirt to commemorate the 50 years since winning the 1976 FA Cup. 50 years on, the first team hoping to do it again, though, in quarter-final action a week today against Premier League table toppers Arsenal. Under the lights, 8 o'clock at St Mary's. Lambert wants to be the end of that cross. He's not going to get there ahead of Van der Gouw. Saints on a terrific unbeaten run in the Championship and FA Cup. Got that fantastic win against Fulham in the last round. Ross Stewart converting a 90th minute penalty. Berbatov. .48 international goals for the Bulgarian. He struck the post after just a few minutes in the first half. Tommy Forecast goal leading a charmed life, and it's going to be tested again. Campbell. He came on for the injured Louis Saha. And Southampton try and win with Joe Tessem. Just for a moment, another early challenge with a chance for Lee Barnard to get Drew Sermon in on the act, but not able to find his man that time. Lee Barnard getting Southampton's goal after 13 minutes, converting Drew Sermon's cross from the left-hand side. Lovely finish from the edge of the 6-yard box. Tessem suddenly 3-on-3, and there's a nutmeg, and here comes Ricky Lambert lining up the shot from range, and that one's straight at the United keeper. And that elusive St Mary's goal for Ricky Lambert since finding the back of the net against United on the final day of the 13-14 season. And that run continues. Received a commemorative England cap before kick-off. Scoring with his first touch against Scotland. Ricky Lambert, a fantastic moment for him and for the club. Here's Bardsley, who got United's leveller right on half-time. Valencia, who's looked the quickest of the players and showing that pace yet again. Fraser Campbell was lurking. Saints have stood up strong for the majority of the game in defence. And again, that time, as Barnard gets a good head onto that one, but Norwegian Ronnie Johnson can't find a red shirt. Sam McQueen, unfortunately for him, does. Valencia, little shimmy. United come looking for a goal to get them in the lead, and they found it. 48 and a half minutes on the clock, and Fraser Campbell has capitalised on Tommy Forecast, just not quite getting the connection he wanted. And United have come from behind to lead by 2-1. And he won't have an easier goal in his life. Plenty of time to go, though. And Southampton have had a couple of opportunities in this second half to get forward, and they've immediately put themselves back on the front foot with Victor Wanyama. Hoivel. 8 goals for the Dutchman in Southampton's promotion season from the Championship. Quite the tally from the defender as Saints win a free kick on this near side. Lee Barnard just having a word with the referee, as he did quite a few times in his career. Sermon into the penalty area, it's been missed. I don't think it got a United touch in the end. No, it didn't, so it's going to be a throw to the Red Devils. That horrible band of dark cloud seems to have made its way over Southampton. And there's a nice amount of blue sky above the St Mary's roof. Manchester United lead by 2-1. Fraser Campbell, the latest on the score sheet. This game slap bang in the middle of the international break. It's going to be a massive end to the season for the Southampton first team. The men's against the Arsenal in the FA Cup, and then that huge run in the Championship. They currently occupy the final playoff spot, but they'll be wanting to aim higher as Wes Brown tries one skill too many at the back. Lambert, ball can't find Lee Barnard. It was a strike partnership that combined so many times, but unfortunately not that time, as Victor Wanyama is fouled, and it takes a great deal for Victor Wanyama to go down. Handshakes all round in the middle between him and Phil Bardsley. Lambert. Fanny Benali, who's stayed on. Pele on that right-hand side. Of course, Southampton still have the likes of Matt Latizier, Glenn Cockrell, Ken Monkow, David Hughes and Mark Forbes to call upon. And Joe Tessam loses out, and now Fraser Campbell. So much pace. Still at the age of 38. He wants a second, and it's a touch too many. And now it's Southampton's turn to try and break forward. Wanyama, who seemed to have brushed off that little altercation. And here comes Southampton, searching for an equaliser. Pele. Wanyama combining with Lambert. Pele. Oh, and that's going to come at the back post for Tessam. And Joe Tessam has picked out a glorious pass to the corner flag. Unfortunately, Southampton fans wanted him to go for goal. And I don't think Adam Blackmore's going to let him off for that one. That's going to be a topic of conversation for the whole of the next going home with Adam and Joe, that's for sure.
Substitution for United legends. Replacing number 25, Danny Simpson. 26, Danny Pugh.
One Danny for another. Danny Simpson off. Danny Pugh on. Wanyama. Sermon scored against Derby from there, but he lines up the shot. Out to McQueen. Back to Sermon. Tessem. Pele. Surely Wanyama's going to have a go for goal, and it's sliced and backwards and into the arms of Van der Gaal. I was about to do a little celebration because Danny Simpson has come off. He's wearing number 25, the same as Antonio Valencia. And I thought, thank goodness there's only 125 on the pitch. But Danny Pugh has come on and he's number 26, the same as Phil Bardsley. So, rotten luck. Pele. Tessem. No cries of shoot for him that time, unsurprisingly. Hoivel. He's going to have a go for goal, and it's not a bad effort. Had a strike like that against Barnsley, I think it was, at home in the Championship. Saints won 2-0 with 2 strikes from Adam Lallana. I remember Jos Hoivel went for goal from just outside the centre circle and actually forced a decent stop. (2-1) Manchester United lead. The last game between any legends was, of course, Southampton against Rotter Martin's side a year and a half ago, and that was ended 4-4. So if we're going to have that scoreline again, this is going to be an absolutely sensational final 35 minutes of football. I'm sure we'll get a penalty in there at some point because Ricky Lambert, well, that'd be interesting if the Saints do get a penalty as Barnard gets dragged to the floor and gets told to get up. There was a bit of talk before the game kicked off that if Latizier was on the sidelines and Saints got a penalty, it would be an instant substitution. He'd bring himself on to take it, especially after Ricky Lambert missed against Russell Martin's 11. And Lee Barnard there wanted one. I don't think he was ever going to get one for that, though. Valencia. Two Premier Leagues, 1 Europa League and an FA Cup to his name, and some fantastic goals in that time, most notably the one against Everton, that half volley from the edge of the box. Plenty of goals for Wigan as well. Dimitar Berbatov. Bit of a Premier League maverick, the Bulgarian. Was at Fulham as well as Spurs. Fraser Campbell. Webber. Manchester United searching for a third, and the offside flag goes up. And Saints are going to make a substitution here. Who is it that's going to be coming on in that sunshine on the far side? I don't think it's going to be Matt Latizier. It's Pele who's making way, as far as I can see.
Substitution for the Saints, replacing number 20, Pele. 24, David Hughes.
The 53-year-old David Hughes enters the fray. Over 50 appearances for Southampton, as Joe Tessem, once again, silky skills from the Norwegian. Hughes made most of his appearances in his playing career not too far away from here, up at Eastleigh, the Spitfires. 250 appearances there. Did score against Manchester United for Southampton in a 2-2 draw back in 1994, did David Hughes. So he's hoping he can do something to make the game that scoreline yet again. Dink over the top. Surely the flag's going to go up against Ricky Lambert. No, he's stayed onside. Nice ball to Andrew Sermon. Nutmeg, wonderful work. Sermon into the box. He's just crowded out at the very last. Does get a corner for his troubles. Slaloming run by Drew Sermon, who's gone over to take the corner. Short of an hour gone. Saints searching for a leveller. Almost drops. Sam McQueen. Wanyama. Good footwork by Sam McQueen. Lambert's turned his man. Ricky Lambert, nice ball into Tessem. Tries to do a few bit of juggling. He's still got it as Joe Tessem. Lambert again. Oh, and the ball has gone in. They want a penalty. It's not happening for Lee Barnard. Pele just on the sideline, but Southampton coming forward. Try and dip into that interview if we can as United get the ball. So let's dip into that interview between Pele and Kenzie Benali.
Everybody that I haven't seen for a long time, and being back in this amazing stadium with these lovely people in here. So it's been great. So tired now, he's gone. He's gone now.
A special day indeed. And 2-1, the current scoreline. How can Southampton get themselves back in this one, Pele?
We do need to score a few more goals. We do need to. And I think we'll do. We'll do. He's getting there. We are putting the pressure now. Hopefully, Ricky will score one now.
And some youngsters out there for Manchester United today. Anyone that looked particularly bright, that were giving you a bit of a run around?
I'm really impressed with Valencia. He's
McQueen into the box. Southampton convert and they've scored, and it's Ricky Lambert. He's finally scored at St Mary's since leaving the club. Southampton's goal machine has got things all square at St Mary's. Pele there in the interview just talking about how his side needed to score more goals. He thought Ricky was going to get on the score sheet. Well, I'd like to know what the lottery numbers are this evening, because just like that, Ricky Lambert has come up with the goods for Southampton. And we're back level. I thought there were going to be more goals in this second half as Eric Djemba picks up the ball. Phil Bardsley got the leveller for United. Here's Valencia. Djemba again. Webber, offside flag stays down. They are going to whip the ball in the box, and there is Berbatov. Tessem heads it up. Valencia on the volley. Tessem into his thigh, and now the ball's just bobbling around. Fraser Campbell. Well, the Saints were level for just about a minute, and Fraser Campbell's got his second of the afternoon, the second of the half. Just the 5 goals in this game. I think there's going to be plenty more. Saints just couldn't quite clear their lines. It deflected off Tessem, fell to Fraser Campbell, and you just thought from that far out he was only ever going to sweep it into the back of the net. And Saints have got to get themselves back on level terms again. Don't worry, they can still call on Legod. even if he is going to last only about 5 minutes, and maybe, just maybe, they'll have to plonk him on the edge of the penalty area and just hope for the best. McQueen. And the header towards goal, just over the bar there. Ross Hoyveld getting up for that one. Does he not know that it's not a Tuesday? He's not allowed to score. Campbell, who's on a hat-trick. Valencia, who has really been head and shoulders above everyone else on the pitch so far this afternoon. That could be because he's the one who's able to actually move around at pace. Dimitar Berbatov, no real change from him, from his style in his playing career. Just walking around at a fairly gentle pace, but it's his touch on the ball which is phenomenal. Absolutely beautiful to watch. A few step overs by Ronnie Johnson. At the age of 56, just happy to show that he can still do it. Currently in charge of the Norway under-18s, Ronnie Johnsen. Notched up 150 appearances for Manchester United as Campbell and Webber combining, and Campbell down the left-hand side. He's up for this one since coming on for Louis Saha, and he's there searching for a third, and he scored. Has he? Did it not? It didn't go over the line. I thought that was heading straight into the top corner, hit the underside of the bar from here. I'd like to see that one again, that's for sure. The fans thought it was in. No VAR or goal line technology, it seems, so Southampton get a reprieve. But Fraser Campbell wants the match ball. Bardsley, Berbatov. His skill doesn't come off, and Sam McQueen tries to get it around Valencia, who just brushes him aside, says no, that's not happening. Gibson. He'll be disappointed after his fellow countryman, the Republic of Ireland, got knocked out of the World Cup qualifying. As here come United. Berbatov goes down. That's going to be a penalty. I think he lost his boot in the fall to the ground. I wonder if Matt Latizier has the audacity to sub himself on for Manchester United just so he can take a penalty. It is going to be Dimitar Berbatov, who did miss a penalty for Manchester United in the FA Cup semi-final against Everton. And it's saved by Tommy Forecast. He's missed again. Well, in that FA Cup semi-final, he struck the ball at snail's pace, and I don't think it was much quicker that time. And Southampton are now knocking it through the middle nicely, and here comes Joe Tessam. It's just clipped his heels ever somewhat as Danny Pugh. Good recovering challenge into Fraser Campbell, who did strike the underside of the bar with a fantastic header. And he's trying to pick out Valencia up against McQueen. This game has livened up in the last 5 minutes. It's Valencia straight at Forecast. What a fantastic afternoon this has been so far in the spring sunshine. Bardsley with United's fourth corner of the game, up for Forecast, who plucks it fairly easily out of the sky. Wanyama with the Hollywood pass, and he picks out Ricky Lambert. Cries of shoot. Still cries of shoot. Is he going to take them on? No, it's going to go through. Southampton are surely going to score. It's Lee Barnard. Very unselfish work there as he got the layoff. Open goal. And like Fraser Campbell, Lee Barnard's got a second, and we're at 3-3. And I think we're going to have a change or two on the sidelines as well, because there are some tired legs out there. Ricky Lambert's currently just hunched over. It's Fanny Benali, I think, who's going to be coming off. And he's done well to last 70 minutes or so, as Francis Benali. I did say that he's probably in the best physical condition. Ken Monkow coming on to join Jos Højveldt at the back. So it's Tommy Forecast, Sam McQueen, Ken Monkow, Jos Højveldt and Fraser Richardson, Drew Sermon, Victor Wanyama, Joe Tessam, David Hughes, Ricky Lambert and Lee Barnard, who's having a whale of a time at the moment out on the St Mary's turf. 3-3, 20 minutes to go. This could end up 5-5, 6-6. It's been a thoroughly entertaining afternoon at St Mary's and live on YouTube, on the Southampton website and app as well. And Kenzie is about to interview her dad, Franny Benali. United just knocking it around.
On the pitch, not so good when you feel a little bit older and a little bit slower, Kens, but yeah, great.
Well, Berbatov has got it. We'll just dip in for a moment as he looks threatening. It's going to go out for a corner. Let's get a bit more from Franny before this set piece.
Squad that have come down and supported this. It's very special to go out and try and run around a little bit again.
Anna, you had a bit of a tough test out there. A few pretty big names and fantastic players you're up against in the form of Zaha, Valencia. How was it out there with them?
It can be a little bit lively, yeah. So when you're getting a little twinge in the hamstring and they're burning down the wing, it can be a bit of a lively one. But yeah, the guys are doing great. It's nice to be out there. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the game. But yeah, really enjoyed being part of it.
And 3 apiece. Can Southampton win this, Dad?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Just need Bobby Stokes to pop up with the winner now, don't we?
Dad, thanks so much. We'll let you grab a drink and get your coat on. Franny Benali, St Mary's.
In that time, Manchester United did have a header from a corner, but it feels rude to interrupt Franny Benali. 3-3 at St Mary's. Plenty of time to go. 18 minutes to see a couple more goals. Lee Barnard's on a hat-trick. Never got one for Southampton. Ricky Lambert, of course, was a serial hat-trick getter, and here he is once more, the fabled number 7, Lee Barnard. Is he going to have a go for goal? He wants a third, and it's low and straight into the arms of Van der Gaal, who at 63 has not done too badly. Part of the United treble-winning side in 1999. Of course, those 2 goals in the Champions League final. It's not quite coming back from 3-0 down to win against Leicester. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people who would thoroughly disagree, but it's all in good taste. Here comes Dimitar Berbatov. Of course, missed a penalty not too long ago, Valencia. Campbell wants a hat-trick as well. The underside of the bar, but Saints now, I keep on saying there's a chance for them to break, but I don't think they quite have the legs to go from one end of the pitch to the other at breakneck speed, but they're making a good job of it. Barnard and Sermon. I'm just so used to Leo Cienza and Tom Fellows just brimming with confidence down either flank. Lambert has managed to turn. Is he going to play the ball through? He does! Oh! Just for a moment, just for a moment. Big Jos Højveld was trying to make the run through the middle. Another change being made for Saints. 15 minutes to go.
For the Saints, replacing number 2, Fraser Richardson. Number 6, Mark Blake.
Fraser Richardson comes off, Mark Blake on in his place, 58. 137 appearances for Fulham. Did come through Southampton's academy between 1985 and 1990. Donned the famous red and white 18 times. Webber. Bardsley. How's this game going to finish? Now it really is a chance for Southampton to come forward. Joe Tessam, nice ball into Sermon. Here comes Ricky Lambert. Is he going to shoot from there? The fans want him to. Instead he's picked out Victor Wanyama and he's put it wide. Fantastic move from Southampton. They sliced United apart, but Victor Wanyama just got his bearings all wrong. But Tessam has been absolutely on it in this game. Ricky Lambert, he's found the score sheet. Sermon. David Hughes just about keeps it in play. Sermon once more. Mark Blake. Gets the ball back. Southampton now just building from the back. Around 13.5 minutes to go. Plus if Manchester United are trailing, then I'm sure another 20 more minutes of added time, or just we play until they score. Højveld trying to be the playmaker. Campbell, he's desperate for the match ball. He's been very, very good since coming on. Here comes Phil Bardsley, the other goal scorer for United this afternoon. Valencia, who has had a great deal of pace to burn, even at 40 years old, wins another corner. Number 6 for Manchester United. Don't forget, with this game, plenty of aid for Saints Foundation, Manchester United Foundation, the terrific work that they do. Bardsley, bit of a push in the back there. Berbatov isn't going to get there ahead of David Hughes. United are going to make a change. Ken Monkow into Victor Wanyama, who could have put Saints ahead just a few minutes ago. Tessam. And that goes out of play. And here comes the switch.
Substitution for United. Replacing number 19, Eric Jemba. 32, Bojan Djordjic.
Bojan Djordjic coming on for Eric Jemba. The last 12 minutes or so. Wanyama in the middle. Matt Latizier is about to get interviewed on the sidelines, but Southampton coming forward. We'll dip into that in just a moment. And Saints just playing it around on halfway. Let's have a listen with Matt.
Maybe 10 minutes. So yeah, we'll see what we can do.
All right, we're nearly 80 minutes in. What have you made of your side's efforts so far?
Really proud of the boys, to be honest. Could easily have buckled when it went 3-2 there, but we've come back again. And Tommy will be delighted that he's saved a Dimitar Berbatov penalty. I mean, what a story that is to tell for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that is quite a highlight for sure. And Matt, how excited are you to get back out there on the Hallow Turf?
Oh yeah, it's always lovely to get out on the pitch. I mean, I'd like to be in slightly better physical shape, but you know, these things happen.
Everyone, Matt Latizier.
We will be seeing Lagod not too long to go until he comes back out onto that hallowed St Mary's turf, but Southampton just knocking it around quite nicely at the moment. Tessem. He's looked fresh as a daisy, Joe Tessem. Although less said about his shot, the better. McQueen, low ball into the box, that one's dealt with. There's cheers on that far side. Matt Latizier, his entrance is imminent. Even the Manchester United fans are applauding. Fairly ambitious from Matt Latizier. He's given himself 10 minutes or so. How much money are you putting on him being the match winner? Hughes. Oh, it's almost a lovely touch there by Fraser Campbell, but it's come back from an offside position, which means a substitution is about to be made. And here he comes. Is it going to be a number 7 for a number 7? Ricky Lambert's already got himself on the score sheet. That's what he wanted.
St Mary's, it's super sub time. Replacing 21 Joe Tessem, number 7, Matt Latizier.
Here he comes, Matt Latizier. Joe Tessem, his race is run. Scored 9 goals against Manchester United, did Matt Latizier. Is he going to add another one to his tally? Lambert. Hoivelt with the dink over the top, and that's a decent touch by Lee Barnard. Lambert. Or he might find the run of McQueen, who manages to get there ahead of the defender, but Van der Gaal alert. Flag has stayed down. Fraser Campbell is in behind. This could be the winner for Manchester United. Fraser Campbell over the goalkeeper, and then it's swiped by Danny Webber. Manchester United get a fourth. Saints wanted a flag that never came. Is that the decider? I mean, Tommy Forecast absolutely swiped Fraser Campbell out of the game there. Danny Webber with another simple finish. Matt Latizier just on that far side. He's trying his best to keep up with play. He's actually doing fairly well. Hoivelt. Saints get themselves a leveller. Sam McQueen. Latizier just lurking at the back post. David Hughes. Oh, and that's a poor pass, and it's been intercepted. Fraser Campbell and Danny Webber are racing away. Ken Moncal trying to keep up into Webber. Will it be 5? Sends Forecast to the floor, and Forecast has somehow kept that one out. Not sure if he knew a great deal about it, but to be honest, for a goalkeeper, they're happy if it hits any part of the body. United have themselves a corner. He saved a penalty. He somehow kept that one out. I know he's conceded 4, but he can be proud of stopping that one, as a 5th was surely on the cards. Valencia. Jordic. Gibson. Berbatov. Campbell and goal scorer Webber out to Gibson once again. Pugh, and Manchester United just going to hold on to this lead, and Southampton get themselves up the other end of the pitch and get themselves back on level terms. Well, they do have the ball. Ken Moncal, who did his very best to keep up with that break from Manchester United. Sermon. Hoyveld spreads the play, and it's going to be not kept in on this near side by Sam McQueen. Southampton 3, Manchester United 4. A brilliant afternoon at St Mary's. Some fantastic strikes in there, and there may be another one to come. Campbell, who somehow doesn't have a hat-trick. Bardsley. Big switch. Is that going to be kept in? It is. Lovely play. Berbatov. Cries of shoot. Surely he's going to go for it. No, he doesn't. And McQueen intercepts. One last attack for Southampton, maybe. Over the top, Ricky Lambert, the flag goes up. Well, next at St Mary's is the big one. Arsenal in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. Saints hoping to get themselves to Wembley. It could be the first of 3 trips if things go their way, but Manchester United here just trying to wrap the game up completely and get themselves a 5th. Yeah, Southampton against Arsenal, 8 o'clock Saturday next weekend. And then after that, a huge run in the championship season. Every game something to fight for. They're currently 6th in the championship table. They're aiming for higher. Can Ton Direckett's men continue that run? About 3 minutes left here as Fraser Campbell gets in a bit of a tussle with Jos Hoyveld, and the Dutchman wins that, and Hughes is able just to poke that away to Ken Moncal. Victor Wanyama, who really should have scored and put Saints ahead. Sermon. Oh, he's turned away from Gibson, and he's brought to the floor, and now Southampton have a chance to get the ball forward. McQueen. Oh no, we're going to have another sub here. Who's coming on this time?
Substitution for the Saints, replacing number 7.
Ricky Lambert makes way, and here comes Glenn Cockrell. Well, he scored, did Ricky Lambert, after an hour, finally getting that goal on his return.
Number 17, 2-goal, Lee Barnard. Number 30, Mark Forbes.
And Mark Forbes is coming on for Lee Barnard. 2 goals for Lee Barnard this afternoon, and kitman, the captain of the White Pearl, Mark Forbes. Saints chasing an equaliser, about 90 seconds left as it's flicked on, and Jonsson just takes it away from his keeper. Just the one number 7 on the pitch now for Southampton, Matt Latizier, who is, I think, goal hanging is the correct term. I mean, I would if I was him. A few keepy uppies on that far side, not quite Ryan Shirky. I don't think anyone's in their minds just to have a swipe. As Berbatov now on that left-hand side, posts it through to Webber, and Webber has got 2-on-1 up against McQueen. Bardsley screaming for it. Is this going to wrap things up for United? Bardsley finds the back of the net. That is 5 for Manchester United, and that is probably game over. Considering it was 1-1 at half-time, 6 second-half goals, you've certainly got your money's worth, that's for sure. There were 8 goals scored between Southampton and Russell Martin's Legends. And we've had another 8 goals this afternoon. And Southampton try and get themselves one more before the time is up. McQueen into the area, headed out, wins it back. Sam McQueen gets a corner. Now, as Manchester United are winning by 2 goals, I imagine that means that added time doesn't exist. But you never know, they might make things exciting. Could have another 15. That's just taking into account the time it took for Latizier to get on the pitch. Sam McQueen into the penalty area, well caught. I don't think the board has actually gone up. So we're just going to play until... Are we doing next goal wins? That'd be great. I'd be up for that. Darren Gibson. Dimitar Berbatov, lovely scoop over the top, and they, with Webber. Will he get number 6 for United? It's another save by Tommy Forecast. It's not a corner. And Saints will carry on. And there's still no sign of just how much additional time we've got to play. Glenn Cockrell gets a good touch of the ball. 100% pass completion rate for him. Hoyveld, who's been a bit of a playmaker, and he's just managed to brush someone off the ball there. Here he comes, Jos Hoyveld. Mark Forbes in the middle, and Jos Hoyveld. He must be having a competition with Joe Tessem for the worst shot of the afternoon. And the full-time whistle goes. It's finished. Southampton Legends 3, Manchester United Legends 5, on a game that commemorates 50 years since Southampton won the FA Cup back in 1976 at Wembley. It's been a superb afternoon. Goals from Lee Barnard, Ricky Lambert. And for Manchester United, the likes of Fraser Campbell, Danny Webber, Phil Bardsley getting on the score sheet. Matt Latizier and Glenn Cockrell able to get on the pitch right at the very end. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable afternoon here on the South Coast. Big one up for Southampton in a week's time, when in the FA Cup they face Arsenal in the quarters. Have a good evening.